Euromaxx highlights. In today's show, in demand, a German illustrator with an international reputation. On stage, the Austrian pianist who runs the Grafenegg Music Festival. On the go, a German life coach with some quick answers. Euromaxx highlights, and here's your host, Robin Merrill.
And a very warm welcome from here in the German capital. The Venice Film Festival is underway right now in the unique lagoon city in northern Italy. It's a wonderful setting for a film festival, almost a film set in itself. This year there are 80 world premieres and films from 34 countries. So a busy time for the average film critic.
It's 9 in the morning on the legendary Lido in Venice. The calm before the storm. Likewise at the Hotel Excelsior, one of the main festival locations. But nearby at the Casino, hundreds of journalists are waiting to see the opening film. German film critic Adrian Prechtel is at the festival for the 9th time.
It's 9 in the morning, relatively early for us journalists, but the film's being shown now. It will also be screened later at the opening gala, and we have the privilege of watching it half a day earlier. That's so that we can write about it and have our reviews in the next day's paper. Let's see if I can get past Cerberus.
No problem, provided you have the right credentials. There's also a commotion at the security cordons at the entrance to the Palazzo del Cinema. Fans have been waiting here since dawn and are soon rewarded. Director Robert Rodriguez and actress Jessica Alba are the first stars to sign autographs. They're here with actor Danny Trejo to present their new film Machete. Natalie Portman, who stars in the opening movie Black Swan, only has time for a quick smile.
This is Jessica Alba, Danny Trejo, and Roberto Rodriguez. I'm hoping to get a few more autographs.
I've got nothing so far. It's empty.
Later on, the first press conference of the 67th festival begins. All eyes and cameras are on the jury president, actor-director Quentin Tarantino.
I love the opportunity of taking film so seriously as what the jury is required to do.
Adrian Prechtel will later report on the atmosphere at the start of the festival. He's not the only one for whom the press conference with the jury president is the highlight of the day.
I find Quentin Tarantino exciting. You can tell he's crazy about movies. Unlike others, he's an absolute enthusiast who spends day and night watching films. What more could you want from a jury president?
The Grand Hotel Excelsior hosted the festival until 1938. But its terrace remains a central meeting point for the media and the stars. Adrian Prechtel consults his colleagues. Who'll be appearing later and who won't? This is the best source of information. The Hotel Terrace also hosts the interviews with the actors and directors. Getting access here is invaluable.
You're at the Hotel Excelsior and you have an appointment. It's the Walk of Fame for the journalists. I've had some pretty funny experiences. I got Woody Allen, who's a personal hero of mine. It was one of the funniest and profoundest interviews I've ever had. There are also people like Catherine Zeta-Jones.
Or Natalie Portman, who graces the Hotel Terrace, even if only briefly. She soon races off with co-star Vincent Cassel on a motoscafo. These waterborne taxis are the quickest way to get around Venice. But traffic does build up during the festival. Drivers like Federico Bon have had many close encounters of a celebrity kind.
Oh, I've had Tom Hanks. Denzel Washington. Who else? I once took Claudia Cardinale to the Lido.
Adrian Prechtel is still back on the terrace. He can skip this evening's gala screening because he already saw the film at the preview in the morning.
For as long as she can remember, Tina Berning always loved drawing, and once she sold her first illustration for €5 as a teenager, she realised she could turn her passion into her profession. Today, the renowned illustrator has commissions from all over the world. But right now, she's concentrating on an interesting new collaboration here in Berlin.
Final preparations for her latest exhibition. The new collection features more than 30 portraits of women, put together by artist Tina Berning and photographer Michelangelo di Battista. The portraits are photos, illustrations and paintings in one. The idea is to underline the beauty of the models shown in the photos, all of which have been reworked by hand, not using digital technology.
There's no deception. I haven't hidden anything. You can see everything that I've done. The paper buckles here and there, there's splodges of paint, then the cat ran over it. So you can see everything. The end result is a whole different picture and product. We started off with a photo. Now we have a photo with an illustration, a painting or a sketch.
Tina Berning has her studio in central Berlin. She's been living and working in the German capital for 10 years. This is where her ideas take shape. Paper, brush and ink are all she needs for her work. She rarely uses any digital effects. She prefers to stick to traditional methods of illustration, methods that have fascinated her since she was a child.
When I was at home, we only ever had one magazine for the whole family. My two older sisters always got to cut it up first. So they took the photos, leaving only the illustrations for me. But I came to really love them. I didn't know they were called illustrations, but I knew that I wanted to produce drawings for magazines.
After studying graphic design, Tina began illustrating record covers for the music industry. She also worked for various magazines. While she loved the variety in her work, she was particularly fascinated by female beauty and expression. But her international breakthrough came with a different motif. In 2007, she was commissioned to draw a picture of Pope Benedict XVI for the cover of the New York Times magazine. It was almost a disaster because she gave the Pope one too many fingers.
Of course, I didn't do it on purpose. And I suddenly thought, oh no, the Pope will see it, because it's on the cover of the New York Times and it will be shown to him. I really panicked. I wondered what I'd say if they asked me whether I did it on purpose. But I found out that in Christian art, 6 fingers have positive associations. They are depictions of Mary with 6 fingers. So it's not something evil.
Tina Berning likes to use very old paper for her illustrations where possible. Nearly every Sunday she wanders around Berlin's many flea markets in search of old books and documents. It may be exercise books, newspapers or antique volumes.
Do you have any empty books where not all the pages are printed? Yes. Yes, that's what I mean. There are so many memories involved. There are marks that have been left. I find that really beautiful. The books that I'm working with in my studio at the moment are from 1790. They're over 200 years old. I think it's unbelievable what paper can take. And if I put a new layer on it in 2010, I feel it's somehow connected with the old.
Her new Face Project exhibition is also about creating new works out of existing ones. Tina Berning uses photos by Michelangelo di Battista as a template for her interpretations. Battista is himself amazed at the results.
It's the essence of two different points of view, of two different aesthetic experience, and suddenly we mix it, we melt them, and it came out something like unexpected, I think.
And that's exactly what Tina Berning is seeking to do with her illustrations, surprise the observer and highlight the multifaceted nature of female beauty.
Since 2007, the small town of Grafenegg, about an hour's drive from the Austrian capital Vienna, has hosted a top-notch classical music festival. And although it's only 3 years old, it's already made quite a name for itself. This year, for instance, the festival has performances by 8 major symphony orchestras from as far afield as Australia and the United States.
Welcome to Grafenegg Castle in northeastern Austria. And its distinctly more modern counterpart, the Cloud Tower open-air stage. Plus the other purpose-built festival venue, the Indoor Auditorium. The mastermind behind this musical extravaganza is Rudolf Buchbinder. The 63-year-old pianist has been artistic director since the launch of the festival in 2007. He's still as excited as ever about the event, even if he might not show it.
You get more nervous with age, because I keep raising the standards. You always want more.
The aim is to secure new big-name soloists and orchestras every year for Grafenegg, like German soprano Anja Kamper and New Zealand tenor Simon O'Neill, here performing Beethoven's opera Fidelio.
We're a young festival, but already an internationally established one. In April, I had a few concerts in Tokyo, and now people there know about Grafenegg. So that's a huge compliment.
And primarily a compliment to the efforts of Rudolf Buchbinder. His contacts and connections within the global classical music scene have been crucial in making the Grafenegg Music Festival so famous.
The first year was the toughest, whether it was Zubin Mehta, René Fleming or Valery Gergiev. The first question when I invited them to Grafenegg was, who's played here before? I told them they were the first, so it took some persuasion.
For fans and performers alike, one very persuasive factor is Buchbinder's own reputation as a pianist. At the age of 5, Buchbinder was admitted to the Music Academy in Vienna, the first step on what would become an acclaimed career at the keys. So the Austrian is hardly in need of special tricks to get his fellow musicians over to Grafenegg.
I've got my wish list. The pianists, violinists and singers, conductors and orchestras who me and my team want in Grafenegg. I'm not a manager. My main job is pianist. But whenever I do something, then it's with perfection and passion.
Another of his labours of love is the Cloud Tower open-air stage. Buchbinder himself provided the basic ideas for its design. Its structure is like that of a Greek theatre, which explains its outstanding acoustics. The Cleveland Orchestra are also performing here, for Rudolf Buchbinder one of this year's highlights. The company is headed by conductor Franz Welser-Möst, who has known Buchbinder for years.
He's got these Pied Piper qualities. He tells people, come here and do what makes you happy. And he has the kind of producer qualities that you don't see so often these days.
The secret of Rudolf Buchbinder's success is clear.
Festivals run for hundreds of years without any problems. The one decisive thing where you can't compromise is ensuring quality.
The festival program has already been finalized for the next 2 years. And the usual array of stars have promised to be there.
It does look like a beautiful setting for a festival. Now, to take away or to drink here, this question would not have been asked 20 years ago. There was always time to sit down and have a coffee or tea. Not anymore. We live in a very fast-moving society, so if you can't beat them, join them, or at least get some advice on dealing with the pace.
A shot of coffee, frothy, plastic lid, one coffee to go, to drink en route to wherever you're off to. Takeout coffee was just the beginning, soon followed by tea and all sorts of other things for a clientele who's always in a hurry. The disposable coffee cup has become a symbol of modern society, at least according to Judith Maria Gillies, who's written a book about today's obsession with being on the move.
We live in a takeout culture because we live in a world that never sleeps. Coffee to go gives us a feeling of comfort. It's a way of feeling cozy while you're out and about, on your way to work, and simultaneously checking your emails and listening to music. You're doing loads of things at once, and it's a way of saving time.
And these days, time is money more than ever before, not only in Germany's banking capital, Frankfurt, but here, the whole to-go culture has been taken to a whole new level. Daza Shekeli is a certified counselor. She offers a service called Coaching to Go. Anyone who needs quick advice can drop in and be out again in no time.
It's good to know that there's someone you can call when you need a bit of help, and you need it straight away. Or maybe you have an appointment and you're very nervous and you need someone to help you through it. From the outset, I wanted to offer my services to the modern city dweller by saying, I'm here for you, even if you don't have much time. If there's something you can't deal with alone, let me help you.
Her clients include Claudia, who'd rather remain anonymous. She's been finding the work-life balance difficult and says that Coaching to Go gives her a lot of support.
I'm so tired of hearing people blame their childhoods. Here you can just come in with an urgent problem that you want to solve, but you don't know how to. It might be a decision you need to make at work. You just don't know what to do or what the consequences might be. I always know that if I come here, I can get some help.
And it won't even take long. 40 euros buys you 30 minutes of coaching. Shekeli works with what she calls feeling formulas, which help her customers get to the roots of what's bothering them. She cuts straight to the chase, rather than relying on long conversations.
When I ask someone how they are, they usually start looking for exactly the right words and humming and hawing. But if I say, tell me how you are on a scale of 1 to 10, they'll give me a figure that allows us to get working much faster.
With Coaching to Go, she helps people help themselves. Daza Shekeli merely shows her clients how to deal with their problems, and they do the rest themselves. It's not necessarily supposed to replace therapy. Shekeli has just published a book about her technique. In it, she shows people how 5 minutes a day of life coaching can help people sort themselves out. Coaching to Go is part of a wider trend, from telephone advice to go, to shiatsu to go, to yoga to go. So what exactly is behind the sudden popularity of all this accelerated therapy and self-improvement?
Our lives have become so hectic. So it's very easy to lose our inner balance, and all these services are a way of re-establishing it. If they can be done on the quick, all the better. If you think about it, a quick yoga position and a mantra is always going to make you feel better than checking your emails for the 20th time.
Der bringt höchstwahrscheinlich doch mehr, als wenn man in derselben Zeit 20 E-Mails checken würde.
Fair enough. But remember that yoga or coffee or whatever is perhaps even better enjoyed not to go, but in peace and quiet with a few good friends.
Finally, we move to Deauville on the northern coast of France, one of its most prestigious seaside resorts. It isn't as famous as Nice or Cannes on the southern Côte d'Azur, but it somehow has a certain old-school charm which gives it a lot of class. Deauville moves at a more sedate pace and to this day attracts the more discerning tourist.
In the summer season, the town of Deauville is a bustling seaside resort. A far cry from the era when the first tourists came here. It all began back in the 19th century, when bathing in the sea became a fashionable pursuit for the wealthy. Deauville became a magnet for the high society 150 years ago. Hotels like the Normandy, built in 1912, have retained their original charm. The town is home to many grand, half-timbered houses built in the early days as summer residences for the well-to-do. One of them is even open to the public.
It was built in 1907 by Baron Henri de Rothschild. Previously, there had been a farmhouse on the site that once belonged to the author Gustave Flaubert. In 1924, the American billionaire Ralph Beaver Strasburger bought the villa.
It was no coincidence that Deauville became the billionaire's second home. He was crazy about horses, and the famous Deauville racetrack was just opposite his house. It remains a major magnet for visitors to the seaside resort to this day.
The whole world of horse racing comes together in Deauville in August. They come from America, Germany, Italy, France and China to watch the races and to buy and sell horses. It really is a very international affair.
The races have the air of a folk festival about them. People make a day of it. They bring picnics and settle down to watch the horses pound home, maybe even winning them some money in the process. Polo is a much more elegant event. Deauville is also well known among fans of the sport. The Deauville Gold Cup event is held each August. The sporting picture would hardly be complete without a spot of golf. The town boasts 6 clubs and is the setting for many international tournaments. The vast expanse of beach can easily accommodate the elaborate sun and wind shades. Some people come here to do absolutely nothing, while others prefer to do exercise. The wooden promenade is world famous. Many a famous person has trod the boardwalk. Deauville is well known among the Hollywood set because every September the town raises the curtain for the American Film Festival. Over the years, the Grand Hôtel Royal Barrière has welcomed many big names from Hollywood, including Rita Hayworth, Jack Lemmon, Robert Mitchum, Steven Spielberg and Tom Hanks, Nicole Kidman, Clint Eastwood, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt.
Here we have immortalized stars who have come to take part in the world-famous Festival of American Films. Every changing room is named after a big American star, whether an actor or a director who has walked down Deauville's boardwalk. And a quick look reveals that almost all American stars of the silver screen have been coming here for the past 35 years.
In the evening, visitors can try their luck at the casino, where the wealthy have been playing since the beginning of the 20th century. Or one can attend one of the concerts held in the casino's auditorium. For those who get up early enough, there's even the opportunity to enjoy a moment of solitude, listening to the roar of the waves.
Incidentally, Deauville's casino is said to be the inspiration for the James Bond film Casino Royale. Anyway, that's all for now, so until next time, bye-bye.